students were so excited at the opportunity to sit down with a faculty member in a small group and talk about a topic because they needed to know about it internally, not because of some set of bureaucratic rules telling them you needed this in your curriculum. And they realized that their education did not now have to be this kind of constrained thing it had been through most of their educations, really. It was an opportunity for them to be in a conversation because they wanted to learn something.
And I think this allows people to sort of have that seminar experience. I've always thought that was the heart of a college experience, was the ability to sort of have an argument, a kind of argument about something that matters. I think what's great about the Fiat Lux experience at UCLA is the ability to bring this to people who are in their first and second years of college.
The program was very quickly put together after September 11th for that year, for 2001, in order to see if something could be done to create an atmosphere in which students would not be as, let's say, tense, or would be able to deal with what happened in 9/11.
So there were more political, more religious, more emphasis on understanding the Arab world, understanding international relations. Since then, it's really opened up to a much wider variety of topics.
I have to say the Fiat Lux changed my outlook on pretty much every aspect of my life. I know it sounds kind of exaggerated, but once I learned about this, I actually started learning more about it, and so now I want to work in microfinance, which is something exciting for me because here I was just taking a class just to learn something, and I end up actually want to pursue a career in this field.
The Fiat Lux, I look forward to it because I like seeing these essentially high school kids coming into college. They pretty much are many of them having a hard time transitioning from, medium to small high school to this huge university. And many of them don't have a clue about how to get around this big place. So I take it as almost a responsibility that I have to help them make this big university seem like a more intimate, comfortable place to be.
This class had only maybe 20 to 25 students at the most, so this really allowed us to interact and get to know each other.
And they share a lot about their backgrounds and their experiences and make connections with other students as well as with the professor. And many of them say that they don't know any other professors except for the ones that they are getting to know through Fiat Lux.
This is not a small liberal arts college where you can just sort of walk in. It's a huge institution. It's an excellent institution, but it is still daunting. And to have an experience in a personalized small course that's limited to 20 students who get to have some tea and cookies during the discussion, I think is a real opportunity.
It's not your normal class. It is an hour or two every week or every other week of learning with students who are passionate about a certain topic because they get to choose that class.
And I think another kind of hidden effect that the Fiat Lux has is that all the classes have a wide background of majors. My class this quarter there was a couple life science majors, predominantly life science majors, but you still had the one WAC major, the one English major, so it was kind of a nice mosh pit of different majors at UCLA.
I'm constantly trying to engage them to, pull it out of them, pull information out of them, pull their thoughts, let them express themselves. Let them realize that you can be comfortable in a class. You don't have to be intimidated. So, you should go to office hours. You should learn to speak in class. And when you start doing these things, you'll find your 4-year experience here much more enjoyable than just a number in a big class.
The professors usually teaching these seminars, they're very well recognized in their field, and a lot of times these professors may not have the time in their research schedule to dedicate to entire full-loaded 4 or 5 unit class at UCLA. So this gives us the opportunity to network and talk directly with these professors one-on-one.
They want to be there. Usually a student who signs up for this has a special personal interest in the topic, just as the teacher has a special personal interest in the topic. So we all want to be on this adventure together and see where it leads.
I can be a little bit more flexible. When you have at least up to 20 students, you're able to get a kind of panoramic view of the students. You can sense out where you think you might want, what you might want to do, although it's already pre-planned, but it allows for a little bit of a flexibility. It allows, I find, to be a little bit more conversant.
Students don't necessarily know how to interact. If students on a college level, their experiences in many cases are right out of high school. So what we have to do is not only engage them with the material as well, but with the whole structure of how you interact at a university level.
There's a whole lot of research that shows that the first year of college, if you can engage students then they're much more likely to stay engaged and seek out those kinds of opportunities throughout the 4 years of college.
They're encouraged to sort of break out a little bit, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think these classes are kind of successful. They're not very intimidating at all in terms of participating, but at the same time I think it gives students the potential for a breakout experience of feeling that they can connect both to other students and also to the professor.
And if you do take it seriously, I believe that you have the passion, then you can take these classes a step further.
I'm actually working for that professor right now because after taking his class, I became very interested in the topic and I wanted to do something beyond the class setting. So right now I'm volunteering with him as a lab assistant.
What I love is that I get the feedback from the students who talk about how they've taken what they've learned in my class and they share it with other students, with their friends and family. So I sort of feel like we plant the seed in my class for discussions that happen, far beyond the classroom.
But we're still producing about 200 seminars a year. And you think about 200 seminars taught essentially by volunteer faculty every single year over this entire decade. That's an amazing amount of education that's been produced here and produced out of really the best impulses of an educational institution rather than its kind of worn out bureaucratic reflexes.
It's an opportunity to explore a particular subject with someone who is a professional, with someone who's really distinguished in that particular field, and to be an explorer. It might sound a little corny, but really the Fiat Lux program does inspire and culture that kind of an environment.